for tennis, HeavenBet have a sensationally great money-back offer if the favourite wins the Australian Open tournament. So if Novak Djokovic or Serena Williams triumph, we'll refund you your bet in that event. Log on to HeavenBet today. Hello and welcome, you're watching Best of the Bets. My name's Christina Nicolaides and once again I have with me Sam Dymond from bestofthebets.com and our bookie Gareth Walker. We're going to look at Sunday's games and the European action, but before we start looking at the football, you've got an offer for us on penalty payback. Yes, the penalty payback offer returns again, so valid for the two games on Sunday, Manchester United and Liverpool, and Arsenal and Manchester City. If there is a penalty awarded in any of the games at the weekend in the Premier League, if there's a penalty awarded in that game, then HeavenBet will refund all losing first and last goal scorer and correct score bets on that game. Fantastic. Now I'm so excited about Sunday's games. I know, Arsenal Man City. It should be a good game, but that's not the one I'm referring to. Oh, you're referring to Man U, of course. Yes, Manchester United 1.85, the draw 3.8, Liverpool 4.3.
Yeah, biggest rivalry in England still, despite it being a lot less important to matters at the top of the table. Sir Alex Ferguson has recently said that this is the best squad he's ever had. Now, I clearly think that's not true. Yeah. But what it might be is one of the most resilient. Seen it time and time again that they've come back. I think 24 points now they've won from losing positions this season. 8 times they've come from behind, including at Liverpool earlier in the season. And I mean, that just shows a sort of real winning mentality. Liverpool will be really up for this game. Yeah, United, I think they will win the title, but I can't remember having more question marks about them. They don't look solid. They're conceding so many goals. 28 goals they've conceded this season. That's already 4 more than when they won the title in 2009. But when you've got Robin van Persie in this kind of form, it doesn't really matter. I think Liverpool will come out sort of, as I said, enthusiastic very early on. They may well get ahead, they may well score, but I think United will come back and win this probably quite comfortably. Maybe, I think 3-1. Well, I think 3-1. Brendan Rodgers, 3-1 is 11.4 for a Man United victory. To look at from the other side, Brendan Rodgers has said he believes his team could be challenging for top 2. He believes they're that good. And if you look at stats... Surely not this season. Not this season, no. But in terms of being one of the best teams in the country throughout 2013. I don't think they're that far away. They're very good at steamrolling struggling teams at the bottom, which they have recently, QPR, Sunderland, Fulham. But they haven't beaten one team who are currently in the top half this season. So how he's really sort of believing that they're going to be challenging at the top. It's a fair bit of propaganda being spun out, but they've got potential, Liverpool. And I keep looking at United, and they've won 3 in a row, but you look at who they beat over Christmas. They've won 8 of the last 9, though, in an unbeaten run. I'll sum it up. Every time I look at this sort of fixture, I always think, oh, maybe I should get with Liverpool, and they generally disappoint me. But one last time, I'm going to go with Liverpool. 4.3 is a price that is big enough to tempt me in, and a correct score that I'll go with is 2-1 to Liverpool, which is 10.8. You will be disappointed again. But possibly so, but I'll be more disappointed if I don't back it. I'll be more disappointed if I don't back Liverpool and they win, so I feel obliged to. 3-1 Manchester United is 11.4. May the best team win. Well, don't say that. No, actually, maybe be a losing bet again. Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens on Sunday. We're going to look at the second game, and first of all, we're going to hear what Mike Holden has to say about Arsenal versus Manchester City.
I think both teams tend to place a high emphasis on possession and, tend to lack a cutting edge at sometimes in front of, in the final third. Once they get into that final third, they don't necessarily have the conviction of other teams, like Manchester United, for example. So I think this has got potential to be low goals. I think there'll be a lot of good football played and, it'll be an interesting game to watch, but I don't necessarily think it'll translate into goals. And you can get odds against on over 2.5 goals, which for me is, that's a fine play. Right, so we've heard what Mike Holden has to say. Gareth, what are the odds? The under 2.5 goals is indeed odds against. It's 2.15. Very tempting. He makes a compelling argument there. A couple of other bets perhaps interested in there. Both teams not to score. So basically one or both of them to keep a clean sheet is odds against. Same price, 2.15. That'd be an alternative way of doing a similar bet.
or the goal crazy market, which is where we've got bands of how many goals, 0 or 1, 2 or 3, or 4 or more goals. And the lowest option there, 0 or 1, is 3.95. And the prices for the game, Arsenal 2.65, the draw's 3.5, and Manchester City are 2.75.
Well, I spoke to Mike in the week, and we were unanimous in our agreement on that under 2.5 goals. We both think it's a great bet.
Yeah.
I think if you look at the last 6 fixtures between the two clubs in North London, I've got the scores here. They've ended 1-0, 0-1, 0-0, 0-0, 2-0 and 1-0.
Yep.
So they've all gone that way. I wouldn't be surprised to see this one go exactly the same way. Manchester City just haven't got a good record at Arsenal. Would you care to hazard a guess? The last Man City player to score at Arsenal in the league?
It must be a while ago.
It was a while ago. 4 years ago, 5 years ago. Who is it? Don't keep us in suspense.
DeMarcus Beasley.
Of course, it's DeMarcus Beasley.
Name from a bygone era. That was 5 years ago.
He doesn't get a game for them anymore, strangely.
I don't think he gets a game anywhere anymore.
But yeah, it shows how long ago they got
yeah.
the result.
Roberto Mancini seems to be sort of tactically inept against Arsenal. I mean, arguably against anyone, but certainly against Arsenal. They were really ill-disciplined.
And blinkered when it comes to Mario Balotelli.
Well, and that cost him in this fixture last season. He got sent off, they lost 1-0, and that looked them out of the title race. Also, this season, Arsenal didn't completely outplay them, but they were a better team for long periods at the Etihad, deservedly got a 1-1 draw. So, again, like Mike says, I think these two will cancel themselves out. I think it's going to be very, very low scoring.
Yeah, it does point to not a lot happening. 0-0 is 12.2, which looks great. As I said, the under's 2.5. Under 2.5 goals is 2.15. So, yeah, odds against for that's great. There's no logic to it, but I'm going to plump for City at 2.75. Just because they need a win. They're 7 points behind United. If they go to Arsenal, and it's a big if, I'm not convinced they'll do it, but if they go to Arsenal and attack and really get at Arsenal, then they're good enough to beat them. Arsenal have been made to look amateur by Schalke, by Manchester United, by Chelsea this season when they've had a go at them. And at the price, 2.75 is just enough to tempt me into that bet.
So 2 great games to watch and even more. But before we look at the European action, you've got something to tell us about the tennis.
The tennis, yes. We've got an offer which almost looks too good to be true, but is genuinely the case. For the men's event, if Novak Djokovic wins the Australian Open men's event, then HeavenBet are going to refund losing outright bets on anyone else. And the same offer applies for the women's event. If Serena Williams wins, then we're going to refund all losing outright bets on anyone else in those 2 events.
Fantastic.
It's exceedingly generous. You might not see me after January because I may well have been sacked, but I'm prepared.
I'll be putting my Christmas money on Andy Murray to win.
That looks a fairly shrewd play. You wouldn't be the first one to do that. Yes, you may well not see me after January with that offer.
So 2 fantastic games then for Sunday, more to come. Remember, for you to place your bets, it's www.heavenbet.com, and you'll also find us now on Twitter at Best of the Bets. We're going to start with European action, Malaga versus Barcelona. Barcelona beat Espanyol 4-0. Lionel Messi coming off the back of the Ballon d'Or, 4th time. Sam, you obviously shop at the same shop as Lionel Messi.
I do. We go
nice
together.
Cardigan.
We're on the same salary. But I think the greatest thing for Barcelona this week was seeing Tito Villanova back in the dugout for the Espanyol game, and it was like he'd never been away, or Barcelona hadn't been away for Christmas. 4-0 up inside half an hour in the Catalan derby.
11 points clear they are now.
They are, and this fixture, it looked a tough one. But Malaga, back after Christmas, lost at the then bottom of the table, Deportivo.
Yeah. They lost 1-0.
There's a circus there, isn't it?
Well,
what is going on at Malaga?
There was some sort of, some
faint
suggestions that maybe the players didn't give their all in that game. They're still awaiting their wages. And just financial chaos.
You can't blame them.
It looked like they sort of got over it. They had all that fallout last season, and they had to sell Santi Cazorla and other assets. But now UEFA have refused to pay them the money they owe from the Champions League, the prize money there, and there's also now they're going to be banned for 1 year from Europe for next season, and it's sort of left them with morale problems. And I think Barcelona are exactly the kind of side who will capitalise on that. And
They're so focused when they play.
Yeah.
It's beautiful football to watch, as well as them getting those results.
Yeah, I mean, they're 1.45 to win this game. Malaga are 7.8, the draw's 4.9. Barcelona 1.45. I mean, Sam's put a very compelling argument forward there for having a decent bet on Barcelona. But I am always looking for an angle to oppose any odds-on shot in any form of anything, basically. The key thing that I like here is that they beat Real Madrid 3-2 recently, which shows that they can beat quality sides.
They are fourth. They're fourth in the Liga.
They're fourth. They've got the best defence in the league. They've only conceded 13 goals, and that's 5 fewer than Atletico. So if Barcelona are going to struggle to score against anyone this season, you'd think it would be in this fixture. There's enough going for Malaga to take a chance. 7.8 for a home win is a decent price. Anything can happen. Early sending off, early red card, early anything.
I mean, I really like Malaga, like to watch this season, but I did back them last week and got my fingers burned. So I think Barcelona are on the handicap this week with a -1. It's 2.0.
Yeah, that's the way to. I think if you're going to back Barcelona, they generally win comfortably if they win.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're giving up a goal, but you're getting even money, much bigger price. So yeah, if they win by 2 or more, you're absolutely laughing.
Okay, so from La Liga, we're moving to Serie A. Parma versus Juventus. So Juventus did get beat, but they did beat AC Milan in the cup.
Yeah, they'll be on a high from that, but at the same time, that was Wednesday night, went to extra time, so that's not great preparation. The prices for this game: Parma are 5.1, the draw is 3.8, and Juventus, another side, odds-on away from home at 1.7.
I'm not necessarily sure Parma have enough to get past them. I like the draw in this one, specifically 1-1.
1-1, which is 7.2. I'm going to go for a big price, and I'm going to go with Parma at 5.1. 2-1 is 12.4.
And then we've got Sampdoria versus AC Milan. Now, it's beat Siena, but they did get beat by Juventus in the cup.
First game of the season when they lost to Sampdoria. Sampdoria were 8-1 to win at the San Siro that day, and I'm pleased to say I did back them. And it was the first sort of glimpse we had of the problems that AC Milan have encountered this season. They seem to be getting back on track. I think they've won 5 of the last 6. They only lost to Roma just before the Christmas break. Sampdoria's home form has not been good against teams in the top half this season.
Yeah,
they haven't beaten anyone above them at home.
Yeah, I mean the only reason they're as high as 14th is because of that superb win at Juventus last week. If not, they'd be sitting just one point and one place above the drop zone. Yeah, Sampdoria 3.8, the draw's 3.45, Milan 2.05. You'd like to think Milan have got enough class to win. I'll go with the draw here. It's a very stereotypical approach to Italian betting I have sometimes. If in doubt, go for the draw, go for the low goals, go for the unders. Serie A isn't as it doesn't deliver on how stereotypical that is, but the draw is a fair price. Cagey first half, 3.45 the draw. That would be well.
I'm going to go with a Rossoneri. I like Milan. It's just over the even money mark, and I'm going to go for a 2-1 win.
2-1, 8.3 for 2-1.
Okay, best bet for Sunday. Sam?
I can't look beyond the under 2.5 goals at Arsenal-Manchester City. I think it's a knocking price.
That was 2.15 for your best bet. At the risk of severe ridicule next week, I'm going to go for Liverpool, 4.3. Too many question marks about United recently.
It's a good job you're sat quite far away from me.
Too many question marks about that team who have won 8 of the last 9 games.
Yeah, they've not beaten much recently. They're looking shaky. They are due to lose. They are due for someone to go to Old Trafford and beat them in the manner that has been threatening to happen for a couple of months.
What's the odds?
4.3 for Liverpool. That is big.
You can have 4.5 with me.
HeavenBet is the only place I go for my bets.
And I'm going to go Manchester United 3, Liverpool 1. Give me my odds, please.
11.4. I admire your optimism week in, week out. One of these days, one of these will
Finally, I'm with you, Christina, on that one. I like it. It's a good bet.
Yeah.
Thanks, gents. For you to place your bets, it's www.heavenbet.com. You can also follow us now on Twitter at Best of the Bets. And if you want to watch this show back online, you can at www.theplayerchannel.com/sports. We'll see you back here, same time, same place, next week. See you then.